Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Ulrich.
This is Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're giving you a strong replay today from the monthly tournament. We actually want to give you to the eastern stretches of Tannenberg. Who do we have, sir?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have Kill, playing 20th Panzergren with a balanced income. Right-hand side in the red, we have Stan playing the Task Force 45, also with a balanced income.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of like Korn playing the 20th Panzergren over here. Like, I just keep seeing kill them all, and I'm just like, that's a very, very aggressive chant, my friend.
Yeah, it's usually a good way to achieve victory in these sorts of video games.
You know, and that's probably a good point over there, too. I mean, kind of going, the interesting thing here, though, too, when you think about it, is that this is actually the Zoo division, or this is like the Zoo crew being brought on out. If we get the sea phase, tons and tons of elephants. I'm looking forward to it.
A nutty amount here. And this map, like, those elephants can be very good, as there's a lot of long-range open corridors, especially north and south of the big, long, stretchy forest.
You know, I was learning actually a lot about the World War I battle of this, and it's kind of, first of all, found out that it's actually nowhere near it, and they were like, yeah, it's a propaganda thing. We lost to the Russians a few hundred years ago. We want to get rid of that. So it's like the earliest thing I've ever heard of, like, trying to, like, Wikipedia their way to victory. T-70 to the north, and I always kind of forget that the T-70 has a honking big gun and paper-thin armor. So.
Yep. It's just a very weird name for the Hellcat, because it's like a prototype run. But no, I mean, they're very good at the start, can maneuver them quite quickly, and as we're seeing here, just looking at the initial breakouts, yeah, Stan really just using the, rather OP converted gunners to hold the line, and actually sending the majority of his forces right down the middle with a lot of dudes with grenades.
You gotta appreciate it, though. Like, you're right, the converted gunners are pretty gnarly. I mean, basically the SMLEs on the UK ones, which go down to the American ones. Yeah, the American ones are a little bit less plucky, but at the same time, grease gun for nice close and kind of fire support. You have the M1 Garands. Heck, you have a BAR in there. Like, very, very solid set for 25 points. Yeah, they're disheartened, which means I hate them, but really, really good on paper.
We're going to see the less disheartened runs getting close right in the middle here. I don't think kill them all will be able to kill all of these guys.
Highly unlikely. And one thing I didn't quite appreciate, too, is that the Tannenberg has nice little ridges. So, really, if Pioneers on one side, that might as well be on a different freaking planet from the Sherm Pioneers on the other side.
Yeah, it gets a good grenade off at least, getting quite a lot of kills, but not going to be enough to hold off the rest of his force. And I guess Stans is trying to look for, the breakout in the center, because there's quite a lot of flags one can capture. And especially against 20th, which has some pretty crazy long-range anti-tank that we're talking about earlier, you kind of want to try to play it a bit more close.
True. And I do want to say one thing I really kind of appreciate about the breakout from Stanczykovski over here is the M1 pack howitzers. He's got 3 of them on the northern side, and we don't see them as often as I think we could. But it's really, really great, not just because it's on-map arty, but because these things are really, really dynamic. These are what IG-18s would aspire to be if they actually have distance firing.
Yeah, and I'd love the little Hellcat play up north as well, getting some good reconnaissance action, using the radio to great effect to call in the accurate artillery. He is going to even dodge the bombs, yeah. I mean, that's, a lean, mean killing machine. And he's causing so much havoc up north between the artillery and the Hellcat. Now the P-51 coming in on the battlefield.
Yeah, but 4.12.7s, I mean, if the BF-109 actually dropped his ordnance, he actually, I think, would be in a far better state. But no, 51 makes it away. Looking back to the center,
speed.
Please, I'm sorry, yes.
No, it's got that speed.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, looking back to the center, the Crimson Tide is rising here. And while I don't see Denzel or Gene, it does look like Task Force 45 is certainly pushing it across the 50. So I don't know that there's anything immediately that the 20th can do other than get some legitimate either anti-air to kind of go and, utilize it as just a very, very aggressive fleshy opportunity here, or get some actual artillery. And that's expensive.
Maybe the one advantage, we see is, of course, with Godvision, is that there's not a whole lot of anti-tank infantry in this forest. So a few tanks would work. However, you're playing Trenny if you're not like you have a whole lot of cheap armored cars or tanks to really be thrown around on the battlefield here.
No.
An elephant would be probably a little bit out of place in a forest like this.
Well, maybe, the armored elephant for sure. But, Hannibal elephant, closer, I suppose. But we are seeing that some of them are getting forced back. We do have an artillery commander, which makes you kind of wonder if we're going to start to see, yep, there's the artillery fire shifting to the center, and this is going to create a massive hole if Kill's not careful.
Yeah, just getting artillery parks early on. I mean, usually in these sorts of 1v1s, it can really lead to a snowball effect of you just maintaining artillery dominance, because you already have such a big investment. You can very easily knock out any anti-aircraft units or any other artillery. Speaking of artillery, we do see off-map artillery, which will soon be dropped in the center, which is probably Kill's best option to deal with this, if he can actually put in the strike. Or is he going to try and counter battery with it?
Yeah, he just actually wants to bring recon over here, so the BF-109. Oof, that's actually beautiful. Actually, I really, really like that play.
That's dangerous. Really dangerous. Because, fortunately, the BF-109s are actually drawing the fire from the recon plane. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but nonetheless, the 90mm is not going to be shooting down the thing, which will probably kill him.
And then it time warps out of there, too. The biplanes, I might just kind of activate this cloaking device, and 251s just get moved around. And I think, but no. Stan knows what's going on here. He knows this game. So he's moving the 90mm out, the M1's going north, the other M1's south. This is a completely and totally whiffed artillery. Brilliant, brilliant counterplay.
Yeah, it's one of the major disadvantages of using off-map as a counter battery tool, is that even if it does get that close, it's fairly obvious that your opponent is using it in counter battery compared to the standard frontline pounding. So yeah, it's not going to get that many, not going to get any kills at all here. It just inconveniences Stan for a little bit.
Yeah, but that might be enough at least allay a lot of the pressure that he's kind of going through. Now, unfortunately for him, there still is another one down south, and this one continues to put fire down on a lot of the German positions down here. Couple that with a Sherman, and while there is a Stug 4 and a P4, well, a P54, I don't know. I don't think this is still going to be a particularly pleasant position for Korn's chosen.
Yeah, he does have the tank advantage here of both the Stug and the 5-4 available to him, but he doesn't really have much else to really do frontline pushing. He needs to knock out the Sherman. He needs to get probably a little bit more PQC infantry to deal with the converted gunners. But even then, I mean, it's going to be tough for him. However, really pushing the southern side, or heck, even northern side, is his best bet. He needs to try to play a bit more out in the open where he can really utilize the tank.
Well, we're going to see right now, so an 88 is trying desperately to keep them off the biplane, and it's not going to happen. That biplane's going to go down. That's a big loss. That's 100 points down the drain.
Yeah, and he only got one barrage off of it, and that barrage didn't even do anything, so that is a bit of a bummer for him.
And we're also starting to get a little bit phallic here in the center as Stanczykovski decides that, you know what, he is happy to see kill, put more forces to the south and to the north, because it means there's nothing here in the center.
Guess that's his thing, but he's got that 15-9 as well. And if he can just, really just spam the forest with all sorts of cheap, plucky infantry, especially get some Naysay rifles later on, he can prove to be a real havoc here and just hold the center line, hold the bulge, and just survive long enough.
And ooh, baby, is that a bulge? And I think you're right. I think Nisei rifles, I'm looking forward to seeing them. Heck, I'm looking forward to seeing the Brazilians. I think that's probably one of the coolest things about Task Force 45 is that you get such a multicultural division, even more so than something like Butler.
Yeah, it's all over the bloody place.
But it doesn't feel like it's lacking, which I feel like is such an issue for a lot of the scratch kind of teams that we see, or scratch kind of combats divisions. Task Force 45 feels like it actually could be relatively viable.
Yeah, it's because it's American. They actually had equipment to dole out. Like, oh no, you're the task force. Here's a crap ton of Wolverines. We're really sorry we could only get you Wolverine.
Yeah, I think probably the weakest thing about them is that the Shermans are just kind of like the bog standard off the shelf. Down south, by the way, we're seeing another, Stanczykovski pulling back. There's going to be an artillery strike, but he might, emphasis might, see some pressure on his artillery commander. Other than that, really not a whole lot. The Luftwaffe, though, has been very, very active, and they're probably doing the best they can to keep Korn over here, well, in it.
Yeah, he really needs to be using them effectively to just rout out the infantry in the forest and machine. He's doing that really well, getting a lot of kills, but there's just so many dudes here. Once again, he just can't really kill them all.
But what I do like him doing is actually he's bringing the Befehle Tiger to the northern side. Not so much because it kind of allows him to be aggressive in taking back that central position. That's what this other infantry column is coming in for, as well as the recon plane one more time. But the Befehle Tiger is being set up to kind of go and give long range kind of, let's say, discouragement as he's trying to be a little more aggressive in taking it back. Couple that too, actually, down south, that one artillery strike saw a lot of ground being lost. And shockingly enough, Stanczykovski is actually very much rocked on his heels here.
Yeah, he's getting pushed back. This is really a perfect opportunity for Kill to, well, gain some territory here and just, once again, if he can kill tanks and push up with the infantry backed up with his long-range panzers, he's going to be in a good position up north and down south. And he's doing decent with the Air Force here.
That's true, but he just lost his other off-map.
Yes.
So he's been able to use a grand total, I think, of half the artillery. Yeah, and he's driving his troops into the artillery barrage.
That's not even just like a little bit in the artillery part. He's trying to test if his artillery is working on his own guys.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. This is a true blue-on-blue incident here. Somehow, okay, I was gonna say somehow he's fine. Then half of his squad evaporates into a mist.
And there goes his own puss.
Thankfully, it's so tightly on the front lines, it's been enough to at least keep the American and their allies over here at bay for half a second. So, moderate positive. Moderate positive.
Indeed. And then we're seeing up north, yeah, the tanks are actually providing good fire support. Honestly, Kill, if he was just to invest a bit more in infantry up here, invest in the anti-air first is definitely the riser idea. He could probably get a good foothold into his northern town and take one or two of these flags. So we're also seeing the 90 mil is going to be repositioned, probably to be a more frontline anti-tank unit, which is a good idea. That's one of the benefits also of Task Force, is how you have big stonking anti-tank gun, which also act as anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah, it kind of feels like sometimes it's the American 88.
Basically, it's what it is.
Yeah, although I don't think it gets the same kind of level of HE on the aircraft values. I haven't really tested that quite a bit of time. Or tested it really at all. I'm just kind of doing some napkin math over here. Back to the center, we are seeing the P-Grunts are making a new push, backed by, you know, a full squad of Pioneers, a mostly full squad of Pioneers, and another one going, please, no more.
Yeah, this is not going to go well for him. Once again, this is way too many dudes. He needs even just like some bloody half tracks to back him up. He some sort of armor to negate the lack of dudes.
That's true, but also if you start to engage them bit by bit, or you have like the P-Grunts, for example, catching these converted gunners out in the open, SMLEs are all fine and dandy, but I don't care. I still have MG34s, so, or M42s, excuse me, in this case, but
He might be able to get a few good licks in, but it's not going to be the decisive battle, which he really needs to regain his foothold in the center. Because he's doing decent on the flanks. He does have that 13-11 now. But if he was to regain the center, that would really put him in a good position.
Well, the front Pioneer squad over here again, now he evaporates as well. And I think you're right. I think he's got a couple of licks kind of happening here, but he's not getting to the center of that Tootsie Pop, if you know what I mean.
And this is going to snowball out of control as he loses more and more troops, and there goes all his frontline infantry in the center, which means he's going to have to invest another whole income tick or two in reinforcing that zone.
Well, and down south, Mitchell just came on in, forced everything pretty much off the road, and kind of not completely horrible positions, but certainly kind of blinding and blunting the German advance for the time being.
They're starting to look a little bit
unwieldy.
I'm trying to think of the word. like scattered. There we go. I like that word. Full stand down south. His infantry's kind of all over the place. He does have some M10 tank destroyers, which are kind of scary, but none of his troops are as consolidated compared to the German.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to currently at the moment. Like you said, it's the idea of being able to bleed a lot of the 20th Panzer of its more valuable equipment, valuable troops. And frankly, I mean, there should have been a lot more Nisei rifles. The Brazilians haven't hit the field yet. Apparently, they're just kind of getting themselves all, spiffy looking. But I think that might be the biggest issue I have so far with the way that Stan's played this B phase, is that he hasn't pushed his advantage with the infantry.
Yeah, it really feels like he's just lost his momentum. Just looking at the map and zooming out, like, just all over, apart from the center, he is very spread out here, really relying probably a little bit too much on, the cheap and bountiful infantry of Task Force 45. And we're seeing with Kill, starting to gain some combined arms forces between the tanks and his own infantry. He's making some pretty good pushes. I mean, looking down south, it's getting quite kinetic here.
It's kind of, I think, a nice way that you put it, calling it kinetic, is that I was going to say I was going to actually disagree as the M10 started to engage, and then I watched the first M10 erupt into like a Zippo lighter. Of course, we have a couple of recons coming in, and that's, cute, but that's an infantry support platform. That is not a frontline vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in these more M10s, and really just M10 infantry combo. Just try to trade out effectively. Because those M10s are decent counters to the Jagdpanzers and are slightly cheaper. He just needs to start... If he can start knocking out tanks and gain his own tank advantage, he should be doing pretty good. And as we're seeing here down south, it's kind of working out for him.
Yes, it is. Now, trying to take a look at that P54. He's out of HE, so for the most part, yeah, I think the MG34 5,000 rounds, but that... Okay, like, it's good suppression. It's not what you should be super terrified of at this point, at least in my mind. I don't know, I almost feel like you should be taking these vehicles that you're putting in the southern town and actually deploy them north, to actually swing around that force and get behind it. We also are going to see the Engineers kind of moving on in here, and actually I always kind of forget they have themselves Springfields. Springfields and a couple grease guns.
They were kind of ready for a last for a little bit. Well, not the grease guns, but the grease gun is... I say no, it's not an interwar gun. Anyway, not the best equipment, like you said, but Stan is still holding the center, and he can just keep spamming dudes in there, and I think he will just hold it unless Kill can... I say use off-map artillery, but it's all gone. That's what he needed in the center, was a few good off-map strikes and then to fall through. But he completely squandered the opportunity.
Yeah, I think right now what I'm seeing here is I'm kind of seeing... I don't know, my mind is going to like a...
Actually.
Please.
No, I think he might actually run this engagement. Just a... Nah. Okay, I thought the Pioneers would be able to flank and get some surrenders, but...
No, it was too weak. It was too weak.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, this kind of reminds me very much of that taking a central position, kind of hitting both flanks at the same time. But clogging up that center can't happen. We start doing things like bringing the Flak Panzer Panther, or the Jagdpanzer, or frankly, three full squads. Yeah, 3 full squads of Pioneers, and he has no more off-map to obliterate his own troops. So these are 3 full squads of Pioneers that are going to reach the front line in full squads. So
yeah, and that one Pioneer dude, I think what's happening here is Stan is kind of worried about that little boat on his flank, even though it's literally a single dude, and is pulling back his guys a bit. And this is kind of giving Kill the opportunity to encircle this one group on the flag here. He might be able to, cut the force in half and deal with them in piecemeal, which that's a good bluff.
It's a very good bluff. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I'm kind of also looking around at this whole havoc that's not really causing a whole lot of it. But it is interesting to me to kind of see that back on the pitch. The A-20s used to be the devil of everything. Ooh, wait, Mitchell down south? He's not going to kill a P4. Nope, in fact, he fires bombs that somehow they hit at multiple... Whatever. I'm very, very confused. We do see the Nisei on the field. Niseis are now out. Once that guy stops kind of, having himself a little bit of a freak out, I want to check that guy out again because I always forget what they bring. And I don't know. I feel like maybe the South is in a moderately okay position for Stan.
It is. No, it definitely is. He's managed to trade somewhat effectively. I mean, he doesn't have great infantry support here anymore, but it's really more about the tanks down south to keep it secure, and he does have the recon Stuart as well. Losing that center is really starting to screw him. I mean, it's a 15-9 here for kill, and he's kind of just rupturing the center. And he's got a bunch of pioneers now against a bunch of disheartened troops. All the converted gunners now been thrown into the forest, and yes, they have Garons, but they don't have a bundle grenade.
Nope, unfortunately, they were going to bring it, but then they got M1 thumb, and kind of forgot. They got off to the med station and kind of get kitted up there. The engineers, there's one squad that's still behind the lines, and he's going to go and sell his life dearly, it seems.
Yeah, he's going to get actually a few good kills here, I think, just by chucking these grenades, so it has to be enough to buy him some time, so good bloody job.
Yes, indeed. Pinned down, so I'm surprised he doesn't immediately get the tap.
One more grenade from him.
It's not going to happen. He's going to get forced into a surrender first, I think. Befela Tiga is still alive. That is a beautiful and surprising idea. And where are the Nisei now? Nisei, show me Nisei. Nisei are dead. Of course they are. Right when Khan wants to know things. Not to be outdone, the Mitchell's coming back again. I don't know. Do you think this is starting to become maybe a moment of insanity?
Yeah, he is trying to resolve the issue because he did buy a heavy artillery piece, 203 mil. So I think he is going to start trying to counter battery the anti-aircraft positions here. So once he can get out operational, I think the Mitchells will be able to, pave their way with a crap ton of bombs.
It certainly seems to be an opportunity. Now, one thing I also would like to kind of see, though, here, too, is I know there's not a ton of infantry-based AT, but there still should be just a couple cavalry scouts back out, and right now we have one in the center who just kind of has great recon positioning, but not really a whole lot of, let's say, impact on the map. And that's a little hard to watch.
Yeah, we're really just seeing kill just get some very effective trades now. I mean, we're seeing with the infantry, they're kind of running array, but they're running array into kill as machine guns eventually. They have no anti-tank, like you said, to really deal with it. The Shermans and M10s aren't going to be great in one-on-ones against, especially Jagdpanzer IV here. So he's in a little bit of a hard spot.
Well, he gets one jam on one of the Jagdpanzers, but unfortunately the Befehl Tiga is going to engage the M4105, which is actually a shockingly, important loss here. And the M10 might be able to take... never mind. Jagdpanzer uses its superior stealth and just kind of skips and hips away. So well done there.
Yeah, honestly, Kill's done a very good job just keeping his tanks alive, which really in a German Panzer Grenadier type division, it's all you really need to do. I mean, both of the, I'm not going to say Ronderwaffen, the Frankenstein units, the Tiger Force and the 5-4, they're still going. They're not just core units, they're also leaders, which helps out quite a bit with, when bringing out the other bloody Jagdpanzers and Stugs. And just being able to trade efficiently with the armor, especially on this map, really goes a long way.
It certainly does. And now, I was talking about the whole infantry-based AT, and right now I have the Nisei rifles up on my, a nice little unit card to kind of check out. And this right here for me, this is the stuff that, to me, don't bring all the Prinkahas in. I mean, don't get me wrong, these guys are still solid, but bring the Nisei rifles. Yes, they're 10 points more. I get it. But you need that AT on the line.
100%. He needs to be blowing up tanks, especially in down south. These tanks getting quite close into the town. You could very easily sneak in a bazooka shot or two here. He does have the 90 mil. I didn't even realize he has it right on the road. With a little bit of angling, he could probably get it into a better long-range position to start stealing with those thugs.
Yeah, but I don't think fishing's going to do a lot of work to help him out here. Your silence says that you weren't sure that I was making the joke about angling back and forth.
Oh.
But you know what? Dad jokes. Khan is a dad now. So that's...
God, he's surpassing my level.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I had to kind of catch up to your level. So now my power level is over 9,000. So, no.
One day I can reach your power.
No, not God, just Khan. Young Panzer Stuck4 over here. In the meantime, just continue. Just continue to start going crazy down south. Just absolutely just shellacking everything that moves. More M10 tank destroyers moving on in. The 203 just continues to try to desperately find something. But while he's taking out the 88... Actually, no, he hasn't even taken out the 88. He's just kind of firing blindly.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, he's bringing his recon planes, probably trying to spot the 88, but now it's also the Flak Panzer Panther, and as well, Kill's got some artillery of his own. He's got the 105, so he's probably going to be using that for counter battery. Yeah, he's using it directly for counter battery. So if he can keep that 203 off his anti-air, and the American Air Force won't be too much of a threat.
Well, let's see how the maiden shot goes, and drops about 300 meters short. Oh no, excuse me, 150 meters. Intriguing. I don't know that I really like the 203's chances here.
No. But the unit you need to relocate. He still has the artillery tractor alive. He just needs to pick up and move.
Yes, indeed. But the M4 isn't moving, and I get the sense that the 203 isn't really going to either. Oh no, he's hoofing it himself. So those poor 10 guys are like, okay, time for us to start moving ourselves like lemmings to the other side of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And in a state of just absolute irony, they move 50 meters right into the next shell.
Yes. Of course. Gotta love Murphy.
Exactly. I've never served with him myself, but he's a pain, I can tell you that much. M1s in the meantime to the northern side, these whole howitzers, the pack howitzers, for some reason they're only engaged in that pack 40 now, which is, now that in retrospect, I think something probably should have happened about 10-15 minutes ago.
100%. Like, it's really good earlier of that little Jagdpanzer engagement. Even though the gun was jammed, he had other units covering different lines of fire to cover its retreat. And that Pack 40 was in a perfect spot. Yeah, as well, the Tiger P has also received a critical hit. So he's going to lose a little bit of firepower here up north. And I think Willis Mitchell's, yeah, he really wants that Tiger P dead, and understandable.
What's kind of amusing thing is he uses the P-51s as just strafing planes. But hey, you know, what is it going to be? Just shy of 1,000 kilos on both Mitchells. Oh. So yeah, about 2K coming in on that guy.
Yeah, that's a few bombs, Khan.
It is, and unfortunately, they did not go into the pickle barrel, and indeed, we're going to see probably one of the Mitchells going down, courtesy of that BF-109. He dies, but he takes the Mitchell with him. Yeah.
Like, really, just enough anti-aircraft defense to keep his tanks alive. That's all Kill needs to do here. We got another Mitchell being brought in by that Flak 88. He's ready. He can probably get a few good hits in. Or maybe actually the P-51s are going to draw the fire.
It was for a bit. It's not going to draw all the fire, because I think at this point the P-51 drops down on the whole targeting acquisition of it. Now, kind of interesting thing about this, though, too, is that Mitchell, I don't know if actually would have been better for him to get less stressed, because the bombs almost actually impacted right where they didn't need to go.
Yeah. But the Tiger P still alive. Oh, he's going to be rustling in the M10s now. But the Flak 88, once again, different coverings of fire, lanes of fire. He has backup here to protect his Tiger P in the retreat. Even the IG-33 could come in.
It could, yes, it could.
If he stopped moving. Please stop moving. For the love of God, stop moving.
Well, and the Flak 88 now is going to be panicked by the P-51 coming in. So there's a plethora of targets here. And I don't know what killed the M10, but something.
Oh, there's another Stug.
Oh, jeez.
Reinforcement Stug. And there we go. There's the tap out. And GG. Kill. Well, he killed just a little bit more.
Oh, it's Luna.
Oh, cool. It's every bloody Reek. It's a different name with you, huh?
Exactly.
Every Reek.
Exactly. You know what? Can't you just be like stand over here and just have this beautiful little Hussar picture? We're just gonna sit with that. Be proud of that name. But no, stellar game. Actually, I saw it going very, very different than what it did.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting turn of events. Once again, I think it just came down to just effective tank engagement, and surprisingly, if you don't lose your tank, they can prove to be a benefit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Take a look through the kills over here. Stanczykovski, I mean, the P-51's got almost an instant ace, but he killed 2 biplanes, so did we put an asterisk on that one? Losses, Frysmuth over here. Well done, sir. Picking up a 4-pack of kills. The P-54, four ground kills and an anti-air position. Well done there. But,
Wow.
yeah, I'm actually surprised by that. I saw that going very, very differently. Well done.
That's just a good match. That's just good.
It was indeed. So, I mean, guys, monthly tourney, always solid and always important to kind of check out. Even more so, though, thank you to both Stanczykovski and Luna.
Mm-hmm.
So, any final thoughts, sir?
No.
No. Well, folks, in that case, then, until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.